Well, boys, Microsoft decided the good PR and will we've been slowly obtaining after absolutely destroying it during the Xbox One generation. We need to make some very easy, actually, I was gonna say hard, decisions here. Now, we could keep on all of these great companies that made great games in the past. Some, flopped, and then some did extremely well, even we said that they did well. Or we could just fire them all and then write them off as a little oversight. We didn't actually mean to hire all these people, even though we kept them on for 3 years and allowed them to make award-winning games. For some reason, Microsoft could have, fired Tango's Game Work after, the game that they made before Ghostwire Tokyo. It wasn't the greatest game, but no, they allowed them to make Hi-Fi Rush, one of the greatest Xbox games of all time. Literally, they made the greatest, well, not the greatest, but like one of the greatest Xbox games of all time. And then Microsoft said, you gave us prestige, awards, a bit of glory in the gaming industry. And what we shall give you is just a random Tuesday. You get fired. Thank you for all your hard work on Hi-Fi Rush. Now, Arcane Austin, they also got, destroyed. Now, that made a little bit more sense after Redfall, even though they made, Dishonored and Prey, 2 amazing games. Again, these are award-winning games, and yet, for some reason, Microsoft said, you gave us prestige, honor, glory in the gaming industry. You also don't have a job anymore. And the weirdest part about Tango Gameworks getting shut down is that they're a Japanese studio, and Phil Spencer, he wanted to get a foothold in the Japanese market. Actually, Xbox in general always wanted to get a foothold in the Japanese market because obviously Sony kind of just dominates that. And Tango Gameworks came out with, Hi-Fi Rush, amazing game, and Ghostwire Tokyo. Everyone that's played it said it's a decent game. It ain't bad, it ain't the greatest, but it's playable. If you have nothing else to play it. I've actually never really played Ghostwire Tokyo. I always wanted to. I wonder if any of you guys have ever played Ghostwire Tokyo. So it's kind of weird that they get a little itty bitty tiny smidge, a little blip on the radar in the Japanese market finally. They actually make a good Japanese game. Well, it's not Japanese game. A Japanese company finally makes a good game for Xbox. And then they just sack them. Like, Phil Spencer was getting exactly what he wanted out of this, and they just sacked them. Now, obviously, as we know, this is all because Activision Blizzard, $70 billion. $70 billion was spent on that, so you start having to making some cuts after a while, even though Microsoft is a $3 trillion company. At the end of the day, do all $3 trillion go straight to Xbox? Honestly not. But I would at least think $1 trillion could go to Xbox. I mean, like something. Like, at least another 100 billion. What is that in a war chest? What is that in a Microsoft war chest? Another 100 billion for the Xbox. Who cares? It's literally just, like Google did to YouTube at one point. YouTube, also don't forget to like and subscribe if you made it this far, and leave a comment for the algorithm. Made no money at one point. It was just there. People uploaded videos, and Google was like, hey, yo, if you nurture this long enough, maybe it could be something. And now YouTube is essentially the monopoly of video content creation. It's the only place where you're gonna upload videos and actually make some kind of money off of it. I guess Microsoft decided to go the opposite direction of that, and they said, hey, we could buy up every studio we can get our hands on and then shut them down. And even then, we will still have like mostly all of Sony as competition and all of Nintendo as competition. Like, I don't get the point of them buying up studios and then being like, shut it down. Shut it down. Nah, they made that Hi-Fi Rush, that was too good of a game. And then on top of that, they're not even trying to make any of their actual flagship games. Gears of War, Halo. Let's all be honest here. Halo Infinite is in a way better spot now, but it's no Halo Reach, alright? It's no Reach, it's no 2, it's no 3, it's none of those. It's just there. If you do want to play some Halo, it's there. But it's not bringing back the nostalgia of the good old days. And I don't understand why they haven't got the coalition to, crank out another Gears of War. I mean, like, it's been 5 years now, boys, and let's all be honest here. We're probably going to get less of a game than we had in Gears 5. We're going to be, like, wow, it's been 5 years since the last Gears, and somehow the campaign is shorter or non-existent. And knowing Xbox with their multiplayer games, we'll be lucky if we get 4 maps. Oh my god, 4 maps. We're gonna be cheering that we got a little bit more than Halo Infinite gave us in the beginning. I miss the good old days when their games came out with like 14, 20 maps. Like, there used to be a day when people would get on the game and not need DLC maps that would come out every 2 to 3 years, because for some reason making maps is some of the hardest things in gaming now. Whenever we had like some of the greatest maps all stuffed into one game at one point. You know, it shouldn't take that long to crank out another Gears of War. Screw the campaign. We just want the multiplayer at this point. Screw the campaign. Because you guys obviously don't want to make any more campaign games, seeing what you did to Tango Gameworks and the other studios that they dropped. So just make your good multiplayer games. No one said Xbox couldn't just be a multiplayer platform. Just make good multiplayer games. But yet they don't even do that 90% of the time. They just allow like 343. Why is 343 still existing? Please, someone tell me why 343 is still a company. I do not understand. If they're just dropping all these other, amazing game devs, why is 343 still on Halo? Please, someone tell me why 343 is still on Halo. They made 3 trash games that no one wanted to play, and it's literally Microsoft's flagship game, what they are known for, and they just shat upon it 3 times in a row. It wasn't like, oh, we made 1 good game, 1 bad game, 1 good game. It was, we made 3 bad games, and all of them are all the games we've ever made, and somehow they're still able to continue developing Halo, which I'm pretty sure they're ramping down Halo Infinite, which is stupid, seeing that Halo Infinite is actually getting kind of a resurgence now. I would think you want to double, triple down on that, but I guess the people that don't know how to make Halo knows best. But like, they just, for some reason, are allowed to continue making these awful mistakes. And then Phil Spencer's like, yo, all the good game studios, you gotta go, alright, boys. We wanted to keep you around, but you see, we bought Activision Blizzard, we bought Bethesda, so the money's looking a little tight. We only have 3 trillion and not 3.5 trillion. I'm sorry, boys. Now, obviously, after, all these game studios, I'm pretty sure it was 4 in total, got shut down. Everyone wants Phil Spencer's head, because there was one point where Phil Spencer was like kind of the bastion of hope for Xbox. Everyone was like, yo, Phil Spencer actually plays video games and not just like Call of Duty. This man's playing Fallout 76. Not even gamers want to play that. But yeah, we all thought, Phil Spencer, he may be, a suit, but he seems like one of the cool guys, one of the guys that actually slightly knows what he's talking about. But I guess when push comes to shove, this man folds like a piece of paper. So it seems like we may be having another Xbox One situation, except for, instead of it being a whole console, it's the Xbox brand in general. Because they want to be the Netflix of gaming, except for they don't give us the, Netflix part, where we get these amazing games that we have to play day one on Xbox Game Pass. And also, Xbox Game Pass is actually pretty vampiric to the overall sale of any of Xbox's games. So it kind of makes a lot more sense if Xbox stopped putting games on Game Pass day one and forced you to purchase them day one at full price, and then a few months later, put the games on Game Pass. Now, obviously, that's anti-consumer, because, the Game Pass people are getting such a great deal right now, but not enough people are taking advantage of this deal. So it sounds like Game Pass probably is going to need to change up its business model, because it's pretty much the whole reason why Tango Gameworks actually, died. Hi-Fi Rush did really well, but also, it didn't do Call of Duty well. But maybe it could've if they just forced you to buy it at full price for the first 6 months. But we could play shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it already happened. Tango Gameworks made a successful game and got sacked because it wasn't successful enough. And so did the rest of the studios. It's kind of sad to see that gaming is no longer about actually creating good games, but the most profitable game, no matter how good or bad it is. Well, boys, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. and tell me in the comments down below. Who do you guys think is next on the chopping block? I'm really hoping that they get 343 out of here from Xbox. I'm about sick and tired of messing up my Halo.